So 2019 is either over or like that close to being done, depending on when you watch this video. And a bunch of incredible things came out. I met a bunch of awesome people, made a bunch of videos. So I wanted to sort of share my top things and top people that I met and that I experienced this year. So we have 6 top lists on my favorite things. If you want to check any of this stuff out, we'll link to it down below. And no product makes more than one appearance on any of these lists. It shows up once, and then it's done. All right, so the Big Daddy list, the one probably most people are here to see, my top smartphones of 2019. And maybe it's obvious to you, but my top phone is not the iPhone. The Galaxy Fold takes the crown for me as a top phone of the year. When I first saw it in sort of the pre-prototype form and then the version before it got recalled and updated, I was in love with the phone, not necessarily even for what it could do, but what it represented. A company taking a risk, trying a new form factor that I thought brought a lot of new utility. And aside from the Fold and the cool things that it did, had incredible battery life, beautiful cameras, and gorgeous screens like you'd expect from Samsung. I love the Galaxy Fold, and that's my number one. The next one, maybe less of a surprise, the iPhone 11 Pro Max is generally what's in my pocket throughout most of the year, at least this plus another phone. It's not that it's been that great or giant, revolutionary different versus what came before it, but it fixed a lot of the issues I had with the XS. Battery life is absolutely amazing. Night mode is great. The cameras are incredible on it. It does everything some version of well. When I'm in a rush and need a phone just to work or take a quick picture or video, the iPhone 11 Pro Max has been a really good choice. And I don't know what smartphone lists would be complete without showing some love to OnePlus. The 7T is coming up on this list, which is a slightly better camera away from perhaps being the most perfect phone ever made. This phone is incredible for any price. When you consider the price point that it got introduced at of $600, triple camera, the really unobtrusive teardrop design, the build quality, the really good camera, if not, certainly not the best on the market, but it is good enough. The OnePlus 7T should be on anybody's top phone list. So go back to Apple for the next one, the iPhone 11. I think it's the perfect phone for almost everybody. If you got that family member or you who just wants an iPhone that's going to work and maybe they don't care about having the most incredible screen, the iPhone 11 is a really good value. And you get the best features of the flagship Pro line without having to pay those Pro prices. And rounding out the list, the Pixel 4 XL. It's a phone I've kind of loved to hate on, but I've kind of reflected back on it. It is a really good phone. I can't recommend the 4 because of battery life issues, but the XL is still a really solid phone. I think Google's done a really good job with their facial recognition technology. The camera, it's a Pixel. You expect the camera to be amazing, and it delivers in spades. It's not higher on the list because I wish they would have stepped up a little bit more on the video side, give me more frame rate and resolution options. But if you want the best from Google and you want to have software updates and perhaps the best camera out there and good enough battery life to get you through a day, Pixel 4 XL is an awesome way to go. I bought a lot of tech this year. Some of it unnecessary, some of it necessary, but out of all of it, there was a few things that I really loved that I purchased. So my top tech purchases of the year, this one I just bought on Black Friday. It's actually the first drone that I've bought for myself, the Mavic Mini. I've been flying some toy drones with my kids and they've gotten really into flying and seeing it go. So I invested in the Mavic Mini to fly it with them, and for them to see the camera on my phone has been a lot of fun, and they're even learning how to fly themselves. It's not the highest quality footage you get, but it's 2.7K. For about $500, it was an absolutely killer deal for what you get. It's super tiny, it's just small enough. You don't have to register it with the FAA. It's just been a lot of fun to play with the kids, and you just plug the drone in via micro USB and it charges itself. So this next one I've talked about a lot. They didn't come out this year, but I bought them this year, the Bose Sleep Buds. And then they were actually killed this year too by Bose. And they have not been problem free. They don't charge that well, which is why they got recalled. But to put in little buds that pipe in white noise I could still sleep on in my side with, as somebody who has sleep issues, has been amazing. I am going to hold on to these until they break and probably try to buy another pair online so I can have a backup. I love the Bose Sleep Buds, and Bose, if you're watching, please bring them back in Gen 2. I think you're onto something for us insomniacs and those light sleepers out there. Perhaps less sexy, but when I use every single day the Nest Home Hub, it is my alarm clock by the side of my bed. It tells me the weather, it reads me the news, it turns off my lights. I love it. I've tried a lot of assistants by the side of my bed, but as I mentioned, I'm a light sleeper and they put out a lot of light. This gets like almost e-ink level gray when it detects the lights are being turned off. I've loved it. I've got a combination of Amazon and Google products in my house, but for my bedroom, the Nest Home Hub has been perfect. All right, so this one's not so tech related, but it's a purchase that I've really loved this year. I tried to go slim with my wallet. I got sick of carrying a giant thick wallet, and I tested almost 10 different wallets, and I settled on the Secrid wallet. You know, it's metal on the outside, do a little push, and all the cards present themselves. They go back, cards don't fall out. I bought the band that goes with it to hold cash, and I've never had cash fall out of it. It's been thin, it's been light. I'm slowly getting used to carrying wallets in my front pocket. If you want something that's going to be durable, carry a bunch of cards, and also be kind of fun to open up, Secrid's a good way to go. Last on this list are the Power Beats Pro wireless headphones by Beats. These have been my go-to for the gym. When I flew with my wife on our first vacation together in almost 5 years, it was great to use these with the AirPods Pro to share a signal from my iPad Pro. They don't have active noise canceling, but they do go in-ear. I found they block out enough. They don't fall out either if you're doing some heavy running or just moving around a lot. They're, I think, the perfect gym companion, and they're always with me. I should try to get to the gym more often whenever I make it there. And next, let's jump to, and maybe this is gonna come as a giant surprise from this channel, top Apple products. So AirPods Pro, they haven't been out that long. They're already a staple in my bag. I love the active noise canceling. I love the smaller footprint. Battery life has been surprisingly good. Audio quality is awesome. They are now my go-to headphones for short-ish flights, listening to music, podcasts, and just general ease of carry. And then my favorite Apple product still is the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. It's for most things replaced my laptop. It comes with me everywhere. It's what I use before we film this video to go over my notes. I love it. It's great for media consumption and now media creation. I think the iPad Pro is still my favorite product of the year. So next, let's go to the 16-inch MacBook Pro. It proved that Apple is listening and fixed problems that probably shouldn't have been there in the first place. So first, no throttled performance, super nice. Way better keyboard this time around. You've got a physical escape key, inverse T for the arrows. Speakers are really awesome, and overall a solid computer, whether you are an editor, you're doing graphic design, or just opening up like a bunch of Chrome tabs. 16-inch MacBook Pro is an absolute workhorse. And fingers crossed that we've got a 13 or 14-inch MacBook Pro to add to this list for next year. Next up, we're gonna combo because they are intertwined. So it's the Pro Display XDR and the Mac Pro. With its crazy overpriced stand and all, the Mac Pro is an absolute beast. And I think it showed that Apple still does care about the pro user. They did an amazing job building a really modular computer that is delivering tremendous amount of power and easily upgradable, which I know the PC side has had for years, but for Apple, that is something definitely new and welcome. Obviously, the price points are insane. And from the monitor standpoint, it is absolutely beautiful to look at. I think it's a big step forward for Apple. It's 6K display. It's got really bright, vibrant colors, great color reproduction. You can use it as sort of a studio monitor, sort of check your colors and reproductions. It's just really good and beautiful to look at, which I think summarizes sort of what it's supposed to do. So this was a fun category of top YouTubers, people that I watch, and I'm not including folks that you guys already probably know about, you know, Marquez and Unbox Therapy and John Morrison, Austin Evans. Those guys you are probably already aware of, and some of these guys aren't even in tech. These are people that I've been watching with more and more regularity that I want you guys to know about. And again, we'll link to all their channels down below. So let's start with Mr. Mac himself, Rene Ritchie. I admire how he explains technology or explains an idea. It's a really fine line to walk to explain something to a mass audience and not sound condescending and sound educational. And he does just an incredible job of that. His videos look gorgeous, but how he talks about the products that he's passionate about is amazing and kind of inspirational to me to see. So Rene Ritchie is definitely on this list. I'm generally into cars and I watch a lot of car videos, but the one guy that I never miss is Micah Munzio. He's one of the main hosts on KBB, but he has his own channel, Micah Drives. He's an amazing personality, not just for cars, but for YouTube. He brings humor to the videos. He's knowledgeable about the products he's talking about, and he comes across as really genuine and loving the automotive world. I've gotten to know him personally over the past year, so it's been fun to sort of see the behind the scenes of him creating his content. But Micah is absolutely amazing, and I think the best in the automotive space. So this year I've also gotten into sneakers, something that I never really thought about before, but something I've been enjoying following and learning about and kind of getting into that culture. And I've been watching a lot of sneaker folks out there. So I think the GOAT of sneakers, Jock Slade, is somebody, if you know the sneaker world, you know his name. But if you want to get into it or learn about sneakers, he is the first person to look at. The other sneaker folks that I've been getting into, Seth Fowler, despite having questionable taste in sports teams, does an amazing job showing you what you should buy, what you should pass on, what you should sell, and covers sneakers in a way that I haven't seen before. And then Untied Hawaii as the third one. He does a really cool job sort of showing the value of sneakers secondhand and how you can make money selling and reselling sneakers, and does a really cool job bringing a personal taste and personal flavor to the sneaker world. So if you're into sneakers or want to get into it, start with those three. And I've always been into Tesla, but this was a year that I got my new Model 3, so I was watching a lot of Model 3 videos to educate myself more on it. And the two who I think are the most amazing at covering Model 3, you probably already know their names if you're into Tesla, but Ben Sullins and Andy Sly are incredible and very different in what they do. They are educational, they're humorous, they give incredible advice and tips that have been really fun to watch and help me learn about my car. So there obviously are a lot more we could have covered. These are some folks that I've just been watching, especially recently, and folks who, when their videos come up, I never miss. So 2019's been an insane year for car announcements and car releases and just automotive world altogether. And I'm really big into electric vehicles. The green side is nice, but just the performance and the torque of EVs has always drawn me to them. So let's just begin with the electric vehicle that is one of the most polarizing cars I have ever seen. Even before it comes out, 2 years early, it is the triangle truck, the Tesla Cybertruck. I was there, I was at the event, I experienced it in person in all of its weirdness, and I put a deposit down for one. I've got 2 years to wrap my head around it. It's starting to grow on me. It seems like it's starting to grow on a lot of you too, but there's a lot of negative side to that design of the truck. I'm excited to see what it's going to look like when it hits production. I'm also excited to see how it pushes the electric truck market forward. So that's why the Cybertruck gets top spot on this list. Number two, I think perhaps one of the most beautiful cars on the road. I had a chance to see it in person and sit in it when I was in Berlin, the Porsche Taycan. Now, it might not be doing much for the range department. It might not be doing much for your wallet. It's crazy expensive. But from pure aesthetics, it is gorgeous. From performance, it delivers, obviously, being from Porsche, and it is a top-end competitor in the electric car space. And again, the same reasons the Cybertruck was mentioned, what it's going to do to the industry, how competitors are going to respond. It's going to spawn an Audi little brother version of it, and I'm excited for the future of electrified vehicles, and with Porsche leading the way, you know it's going to be in good hands. And third, this car didn't come out this year, but mine came out this year. My third Tesla, the Tesla Model 3 Performance is what I'm putting on here. 0 to 60 time real world test of under 3 seconds for just about $66,000 is insane. You're getting supercar performance for under $70,000, 300-ish miles of range, seating for 5. This is the electric vehicle for everybody, and I cannot wait for what's next and software updates that are gonna come for the Model 3. And the last one, dude, let's throw Ford some love. How about the Mustang Mach-E? Whether or not you agree it should have a Mustang name on it, it appears they hit the Mach-E out of the park. From range, performance, to look, to tech, this was a surprise from Ford, and I cannot wait to see this thing on the road. It looks absolutely beautiful. It looks to be an affordable EV for everybody without any of the sacrifices. So Ford, I give you some credit. This was a big year for us, for me, for the channel. You saw things change quite a bit. We made a ton of videos and we learned a lot. I learned a lot about trying to find a new style. So I wanted to share the favorite videos that I uploaded this year. So starting out at number 1, there is no iPhone 11. This is a video that I am probably the most proud of any video I've ever been a part of. And I was a very small part of a much larger production. It was an alternate history of what would the tech world and pop culture look like if Apple never existed. I am so proud of that video. I even rewatch it myself at least once a month. And number 2, the very first video that we made when we started working here with the Sun Squared folks, the 2019 Mac Pro was called. Turns out we were not totally right on what it was going to be, but from a production standpoint, sort of showing to the audience what our videos could be, what they were gonna grow into. That particular video's got a really soft spot in my heart. Plus, the one and only Matt Pierce was the guy behind the camera who did the awesome editing on it. So the third one, I don't travel all that often, but I did go east and then a little bit north to Toronto to visit my friend Lou from Unbox Therapy, and we filmed the Galaxy Fold problem with Unbox Therapy, where we talked about the Galaxy Fold. These issues were just starting to come to the surface with the very first version of the phone, where screens were breaking and things were being peeled off and there was all kinds of issues. So I talked to the man himself, and we sat down and just sort of gave our thoughts from two people who had the Galaxy Fold. I love to collaborate with Lou. It was inspirational for me to talk to him and to see his studio and see his setup and see what he built. It really got me motivated for the year, sort of continue stepping up my game. So somebody I look up to and admire, it was really cool experience to sit down next to him and have him be part of one of our videos. And this one was a big one and probably the most nervous I've ever been making a video. It was Goodbye Techno Buffalo, Hello Me. It was a video right after CES where I announced that I had sold Techno Buffalo and I was going to be focusing just on video. I didn't know how the audience was going to respond to that, and I was and still am overwhelmed by the reception and the reaction and sort of the kind of warm feeling I got from everybody. It was the first time I'd ever really talked about publicly about how worn down and kind of broken I was running the website and trying to make video, and talked about my own issues that I've had with anxiety and trying to manage it during those times. And the response to the audience from the audience was amazing, and that video's got a real soft spot in my heart because it signaled a very clear end of a chapter in my life and a very clear beginning of a new one. So 6 lists, a lot of stuff to talk about. What would be on your list? What did I miss? What did I not include? Let me know in the comments. Or should we have done another category of best cameras on the market, best screens on the phones? Let us know in the comments down below. And regardless of what's on the top of your list, you guys are on the top of mine. Thank you for supporting me this year during a big year of transition for the channel. It's kind of found our voice again. I'm thankful for you. My top list of awesome things in the world, number 1 would be people that watch the video. So thank you, Happy New Year, and may 2020 bring you nothing but blessings, happiness, and health.